Hello friends, welcome back to VOWIAS. Welcome to the mains test series discussion, and this is test 7 of the mains test series of Vision IAS, and this is part 2 where we will discuss from question number 6 to question number 10. So let us quickly begin. The sixth question is on Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. The Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, if you see, this is basically to boost the manufacturing sector of the country. It consists of 5 pillars: economic, infrastructure, the system, the vibrant democracy, and demand. This is basically to cut down import dependence while improving the safety, compliance, and quality of goods and to gain the global market. It does not mean exclusionary or isolationist strategy. Rather, it is to ensure that we develop our system so that we can manufacture more and we can export more. If you say manufacturing sector in itself, it is very, very important for the overall development of the country. The manufacturing sector is something which will ensure the unemployment rate in the country reduces, because manufacturing sector is the only sector that can employ a huge number of people. So the unemployment problem can be solved very easily with the development of manufacturing sector. And also along with that, if you see, if the manufacturing sector develops, the income of the people increases. So overall, the economy of the country will increase, the GDP will increase. And another thing what will happen is that when the manufacturing sector is very vibrant, the imports will decrease and exports will increase. So this will save our foreign exchange currency as well. Also, even on the social front, the manufacturing sector is a boost for the vulnerable sections like women. This will increase the formal jobs. The employment will increase. So when the financial independence of the women increases, that means the development overall growth increases. And also in the manufacturing sector, the R&D also will take a boost when the sector grows, because the investments will increase, and when the investments increase, the funding for the research and development also increases. So overall, if you see, the manufacturing sector at large will have a spillover effect on various sectors. That is why this is very, very important. Now, what are the salient features of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan? So first is, it brings quantum jump rather than incremental change. It focuses on strengthening of every stakeholder in the supply chain in order to increase the demand in the country and also meet this demand. So that means it is focusing on the entire process, not only at a particular point. So in the supply chain, right from the production of the product till the end, that means till the point where we will deliver the goods to the consumer, like everything is covered from raw materials and everything. It also focuses on two important things like the building of this world-class infrastructure. That is the first important thing that it focuses. And also along with this, the skill is also focused upon. And it will be carried out in two phases. In the phase 1, it considers sectors like the medical, textiles, the plastic, toys, where the local manufacturing and export can be promoted. And in the phase 2, it considers products like gems and jewelries and steel as well. This Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has two approaches. The first is, it achieves the self-reliance by replacing imported products with domestically manufactured products. And the second is, it permits the PSUs to have joint venture with the foreign companies and to acquire technical and managerial skills. These are the two approaches that it has. And the government took bold reform like the economic stimulus package of about 20 lakh crores for the overall reforms like the supply chain reforms, even for the agriculture, enabling migrants to access the PDS, direct tax measures, and also changing the definition of MSMEs. Like these various reforms were undertaken. And also the capacity building of humans. This is very, very important thing, because the formal skill development is something that is lacking in India. If you see in India, if you see the overall vocational training especially, it is very less, about 5%. That is very less. But this vocational training, if you see, in countries like US, it is about 50 to 60%. In countries like South Korea, it is about 85%. So this vocational training is something that is very, very important for the growth of manufacturing sector. Now, what are the challenges that need to be overcome to realize the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan? So the challenges, if you see, the issue of inefficient transmission of monetary policy, this is a very big issue we still are facing. The lockdown has lowered the demand, and fiscal stimulus is very much needed to overcome this issue and to increase the demand. And that's why in the recent budget we have seen various reforms to boost the demand in the domestic sector. Also, the lack of the forward and backward linkages. So that means The supply chain, the proper establishment of the supply chain, that is a major issue. And unless the rest of the domestic economy is revived, the MSME may face shortage of demand. And funding of stimulus package is also an issue, because even this fiscal deficit also has to be contained, and the government seeks disinvestment to mobilize finances for the scheme. But the challenges with respect to disinvestment or privatization or a higher one, or the cost of borrowing, if you see, all of these things are still existing. So these also have to be overcome. Okay, so overcoming all these things only will ensure that we achieve the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat, because that is something which is very, very important for the future of India. Okay, this will only truly help us in achieving the goal of this Sarvashreshth Bharat. Right. Now let's look at the next question, the seventh question, which is on the transgender community. So when we talk about vulnerable community, if there is one community that is facing all the discrimination overall, even today after 75 years of independence, it is this transgender community. Be it in terms of jobs, or be it in terms of the social exclusion, or be it in terms of the respect, or anything, if you see, the transgenders are still facing this discrimination in the society. They are not provided opportunities, they are not even provided basic education as well. So all these issues are existing. So that's why this topic is very important even for us from the examination point of view. Transgender, if you see, they are the people whose gender identity or expression does not conform to the norms associated with the sex assigned to them at the birth. The total population of the transgender in India is 4.9 lakhs, according to the census 2011. So, while the Constitution provides for the fundamental right to equality and tolerates no discrimination on the grounds of caste, creed, sex, or religion, but still the transgender community face various challenges. What are these challenges? The first is the stigmatization, exclusion by the society, sexual abuse, rape, physical violence, exploitation. All of these things are faced. The next is the transgenders are excluded from the society. The families view them as a burden and often force them to leave their parental homes. They have very limited employment opportunities. They are forced into prostitution and begging for livelihood. They face discrimination at each and every phase of their life, even while accessing to the public places like the public toilets and all. The lack of inheritance of property or the other rights, like the adoption of children and all, these are also not available to them. They face discrimination while accessing to healthcare, and they remain vulnerable to these sexually transmitted diseases like the AIDS and all. Now, what are the measures that are taken so far? The measures, if you see, we have the 2014 NALSA judgment where the Supreme Court declared the transgender as the third gender. Section 377 of IPC, which criminalizes the same-sex relations, was decriminalized by Supreme Court. Supreme Court decriminalized the Section 377, that is the same-sex relations between two consulting agents, was decriminalized by partially striking down the colonial era provisions of Section 377. And the transgender protection of rights rules, okay, this was brought in 2020. Under this, the powers are conferred to the Transgender Person Act of 2019 to recognize the identity of the transgenders. So that means everything is legalized. The National Portal for Transgender Persons, which is launched in consonance with the Transgender Person Rules 2020 to help this transgender community in digitally applying for certificates and identity card from anywhere in the country. We also have various state level initiatives. The state level initiatives, if you see, Odisha has brought this draft Odisha Transgender Policy 2017, which seek to protect the rights of the gender non-conforming child. Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu have set up a Transgender Justice Board to deal with the complaints and provide welfare for the transgenders and for upliftment of the entire community. So these are the state level initiatives like Odisha, Kerala, Maharashtra. You can remember this, and also the measures taken like the Supreme Court judgments and all. Remember these as well, right? So this is the overall thing about this transgenders. Now let's move on to the next question, the eighth question, which is with regarding to the good governance. This topic, good governance, is very important for the exam, because every year we will see questions coming from this directly. Good governance is the manner in which the power is exercised in managing a country's economy and social resources for the development. It should be participatory, consensus oriented, accountable, transparency, responsive, effective, equitable and inclusive, and should follow the rule of law. So you can just form some mnemonic to remember all these things. So even the definition also you can just mug up from here and use it in the exam, because good governance is a topic which will come in the exam definitely. So good governance is that management of the country's economy and social resources for the development. So one of the important thing in the good governance is the accountability, the responsiveness, transparency, and these things, right? But this good governance, if you see, this is basically to ensure that people will get all the benefits in timely manner, and they will also, just a second, yeah, sorry, be valued, right? So one of the important thing, or one of the important reform in this good governance is the RTA Act. This RTA Act of 2005 is considered as a prerequisite for the good governance. This is because the RTA will ensure the transparency in the system. It will ensure the accountability of the system. It will ensure that the records are available for the public scrutiny. So this will bring, or this will ensure more responsibility on the part of the government. Because, and also this RTA will enhance the transparency in the system. This will ensure predictability. This will remove the ad hocism. It allows also the people to hold the government accountable or to seek an explanation as to why the decisions have been taken by them in the so and so manner. Also, this good governance will allow the people to participate in the governance and reduce the power imbalance, and also this will oppose the injustice and allows the collective spirit to make democracy to work for everyone. And so this RTA is another thing that has democratized information and also decentralized the power. It strengthens the people's participation in the governance and developmental activities. But the good governance at large has various challenges. What are the challenges? Corruption and the political nexus. This is one of the biggest challenge we are seeing. Be it in the Vijay Mallya case, or be it in the Nirav Modi case, this was one of the major issue. The criminalization of politics. This is still a major issue in Indian politics. The less representation of women is also there. Also, the decrease in the people-centric policies and people participation in the governance. Everything is top-down approach. The people are not consulted before any decision is taken. Also, the delayed justice. The justice is delayed. If that is delayed, then justice is denied in fact. If people are not getting the justice on time, then what is the point in having the judiciary system? Because at the end of the day, it is the people who need to be valued and who has to get the benefits in a timely manner. So these are the various challenges. Now, if you see the second ARC, it has come up with various recommendations. It has talked about the ethics in governance and also said that this ethics in governance should have the statutory backing. Even the second RC commented on the RTA. The secret documents should not be secret for more than 30 years. This is what suggested by the second ARC. It also talked about the accountability of the system at large. And for this, the government has also brought in various initiatives, the e-governance initiatives like Pragati and all. The RTA Act of 2000 just now we have seen. Even in the ease of doing business, the government is doing a lot of reforms. The cooperative federalism is being focused upon. So the Niti Aayog can be an example for this. The Good Governance Index to promote this competitiveness among the states, so that they can work in a competitive spirit and ensure that the people will get the maximum benefit. So these are the various initiatives and all. Right. So this is about good governance. Now the next question, the ninth question, this is about e-governance directly. E-governance. The minimum government, maximum governance has been the mantra, and the e-governance actually will implement or will ensure this thing. The use of information technology by the government agencies that have the ability to transform relations with the citizens, business and other arms of the government to facilitate efficient, speedy and transparent process of the dissemination of information to the public. In India, the National E-Governance Plan and Digital India to bring in smart governance, implying simple, moral, accountable, responsive and transparent governance. And what is the significance of this e-governance? The significance of this e-governance, if you see, the first is administrative development. Automation of the administrative process will make things easy even for the administrators, and it will also help the consumers or help the people to ensure because that will ensure the transparency in the system and the work is done timely, like the e-seva portals, the common service centers. Okay, all these things come under this. The budgeting, even the budgeting these days we are seeing, everything is in the digital format, the budget documents and all. The accounting, data flow, everything has become seamless. The increase in the efficiency of the office bearers also was seen. Also, the paperwork is reduced. Example, the e-way bill system. There is increase in the transparency which ensures accountability and prevents corruption in the system. The UID, e-Kranti, they are the examples, the mobile seva and all. And when we talk about social development, the online participation eliminates discriminatory factors affecting the social behavior. Example, mygovernment.in, the Bhumi project of Karnataka for the online service delivery of land records and all. Also, the e-governance will reduce the transaction cost. It will improve the ease of doing business. The real-time availability of the information with respect to the markets, products, health, education, all of these things will be there. Example, the ENAM, the MCA for the corporate, under this Minister of Corporate Affairs. All these things come under this. But this e-governance also has various challenges. It is not that easy to adopt a new thing in the system. The challenges include the social challenges. First is, though we are bringing everything online, the people has to afford it. The people has to have devices through which they should be able to use the internet, and they should be able to use the services. That is still an issue, because still the literacy rate is in the 70s. So people, even they are not able to understand and they are not able to use the services because of the lack of this internet education, you can say. They are not tech savvy. And also the economic challenges, like huge money has to be pumped in for the creation of initial infrastructure. So the operational and maintenance and upgradation, all of these things have to be, they have to be carried on timely, otherwise the entire system will be waste. The technical challenges are also there, like non-availability of the platforms in the local language, inadequate privacy and security, lack of skilled human resources, lack of reliable network in the remote areas and inhospitable areas, lack of multimodal interaction, which makes it difficult to access e-platform on different devices. All of these issues are there. So this is about e-governance. Now let's look at the next question. The next question is on Citizen Charter. Citizen Charter, if you see, it is the document that is published by the organization for public reference, and they provide detail about the nature, working and functions of the organization. It incorporates service quality and time period for the provisions of various services. It emerges as a tool to enhance citizen-centric governance. That is very important for the citizen-centric governance. And remember, if you have a question on Citizen Charter, then this is the diagram which you can use directly. It will ensure the Sevata model. The Sevata model, you can just use it. Citizen Charter, the grievance redressal mechanism, the service delivery capacity, all of these things will come under this. Now, why the Citizen Charter is important? The first is the clearest articulation of the need to focus on experience of public service users for services to be responsive to the people. They bring in the element of choice and competition in the public service delivery. The Citizen Charter ensures citizen-centric approach. It raises expectations, sets a pattern and encourages government to extend similar reforms across services. It set clear standards of the service and the system for the performance, monitoring and appraisal by providing full information about services and their cost and the performance in simple language. And it mandates fair treatment, respect for privacy and dignity of the users. Besides mandating efficient use of resources to provide best value for the taxpayers, they encourage involvement and consultation of the service users in decision making. The effective grievance redressal mechanism for quick and effective resolution of any consumer complaint. All of these things are there. Now the efficacy of this Citizen Charter is suffering a lot because of various issues, various shortcomings. What are those? Poor design and content, and they are not updated timely. The service providers are not familiar with the concept, philosophy and goals of the Citizen Charter. The unrealistic commitment is still there. They are not realistic in sense of what they want to achieve, what the organization want to achieve. Very high standards are set, and there is lack of effective communication. the information brochures, the publicity material, they are very less. They are not done in the timely manner. The lack of consultation of public, the lack of teeth, that means there is no legal backing for this, and there is no penalties for the non-compliance, and also lack of awareness even among the people and all. So these are the various issues because of which the citizen charter is not doing, or it is not ensuring what it can do, right? So these are the 5 questions for the day. So the document that we are using, as you all know, is the summary document of the vision test series. So these summary documents will ensure that you do the revision in a very less time. That is what is the objective and goal of this. So do make the best use of this. Do share this video with your friends, and if you have any issues or any queries, do get back to us via comments or even via Telegram. Okay, if you want to subscribe to these summaries, do contact us. So that's it guys from our side. I'll again meet you tomorrow with the next set of questions. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.